Yeah, MLB Data Warehouse. Where the spreadsheets flow and the takes get spicy. John, Tim, Doc, let's go. Welcome to the warehouse. Stat stack to the ceilings. Exit below, flying launch angles, got a feeling. Tim in the corner with the prospect report. Reading fan graphs, blurbs like it's soft core sport. Junior and double A, Tim's losing.
What's up, boys and girls? Welcome to the warehouse. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Aceball, and I am solo in this podcast. I'm going to have to make this a quick one because I'm trying to get a workout in right now, and then I'm going on like a couple-day fishing trip. So I'm trying to get this workout in right now. So this is going to be a quick one, but I got 10 players that we're going to talk about real quick here so that you still get my T10 for the week. For those of you who are not subscribers to MLB Data Warehouse, this is your free content. If you want all the content, subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse, and you get my full article that has 15 players, not just 10, and you're going to get the full write-up, including grades like hit tool and power and arsenal grades, like how good do I think their sinker is. And you're going to get all the F scores for these players because all the F scores are going to be on there, and plus you get the Tableau pages, so you get the tools, so you can play around with the sliders, figure out what players you like, hunt around and see who has the best stuff, the best FERA, the best power in the minors, and hunt around. And that's a good way to get ahead of the competition in your fantasy leagues or to win daily bets. If you're trying to figure out daily stuff, you can check out splits tools, which I love the splits on the dashes. You can play around with the splits and see who's good against lefties, who's good against righties, who sucks against whatever. So MLB Data Warehouse, that's where you can get all of the great information that you're looking for to win your fantasy leagues. Anyway, I'm not going to be messing around in this podcast, so no joking around about Perkins Roofing being the best roofer in the world, or our new sponsor, which John and I have not met yet about to how we're going to do our ad read for them. But we do have a new sponsor, and it's protein water. So protein and water, what could be better? And I'm going to work out soon. So protein and water, like you need water to hydrate, you need protein to build muscle, one drink to rule them all, one drink to bind them. I don't know. I'm not that big of a nerd. I don't know the Lord of the Rings thing. But anyway, let's get to the T10. Number 10 is Luis De Leon with the Baltimore Orioles. And side note, these T10s are not including Saturday night statistics or Sunday night. I'm recording this on a Sunday, just being fully transparent. Usually we record on like Monday, and I have a full week of statistics. But again, I am going fishing for a couple days, and I'm not going to be recording a podcast when I'm fishing. So, haha. Anyway, Luis De Leon, 109 stuff, 98 control, 110 FERA. He has been worse this year. Last year, he made the T10 multiple times. This year, this is his first time. But last Sunday, he had 9 strikeouts, 3 walks, 4 if you count getting hit by pitches or hitting a batter, which should count as a walk. But for whatever reason, on Fangraphs and Yahoo, it doesn't count as a walk. It's a HBP. But John and I count HBP as a walk because you obviously hit a guy, so it means your control kind of sucks. But he had only 1 hit allowed in 5 2/3 shutout innings, and that was his first start. He pitched again last night, and I didn't include this, but he had 8 innings pitched, which is a career high, 0 runs, only gave up 2 hits. So if you're counting, that's only 3 hits in the last 15 innings or so, 2 starts, with 1 walk last night and 5 strikeouts. So that's 14 strikeouts and 4 walks and 3 hits over 2 starts. Pretty solid without any earned runs for Luis De Leon, AA, Baltimore Orioles. And sure, I'll put some video up if I can. Let's see if I can. So let's throw this up here. Luis De Leon, and turn the sound off because that was terrible last time. Sorry about that. So there we go. 3/4, lefty, big dude. My comp for him is DL Hall matched with Framber Valdez super light. He's a primary sinker guy, so sinker first. I put a 55 out of 60 on the sinker. His 4-seamer only a 45 out of 50, even though it has good velocity. It's flat in a bad way where it doesn't have vertical break on it. The slider is his best pitch. I put a 60 out of 65 on the slider. That's an 86 to 89 mile per hour slider. And then the changeup, 88 to 90 miles an hour. I only give him a 35 out of 50. There's some good movement characteristics to the changeup, but he does not know how to control it yet. And interesting player because he's the only guy in the minors last year who had a 15% swinging strike rate and a 55% ground ball rate. This year, the ground ball rate is still up. However, the swinging strike rate is not there. So that is Luis De Leon. Take that away. Boom. Let's go. Let's load. All right, number 9 on the list is Hector Rodriguez. Y'all know Hector by this point. Hector Rodriguez, outfielder with the Reds. He's been slamming away in AAA. And I've always been higher on Hector Rodriguez than most people. I've had him as like a top 75 player or so, top 80 player the last few updates, maybe for like a year and a half now. So I'm a big Hector Rodriguez fan. However, you guys have to know that he is not going to be a 40 home run guy. His power is good, but not great. So take everything you're seeing right now with Hector Rodriguez with a grain of salt. 23 home runs on the season. He doesn't have that much power. He did have 4 home runs this week, which is why he's in the list again. He has 41 extra base hits in 81 games this year. That's really good. His plate approach is actually worse this year. So when you're looking at the pages, this is something on the new profile. I told you I was going to show you the new profile at some point, right? Here we go. It didn't translate over from Hector. Hector Rodriguez. Here we go. This is what we want to look at. The Z minus O swing. 40% is good. So he's at 28%. And I'm not saying 40% is elite. I'm saying 40% is good. 40% is plus. He's at 28%. He's at 35% chase rate. He's very aggressive. 47% swing rate, 35% chase rate, 63% zone swing. So you almost want the zone swing to be a little higher, and the chase rate you definitely want to be lower. But Z minus O swing of 28% is not good. That's below average. So that's why I have him at a 45 plate approach at this point in time. He just doesn't walk very often. No, 10% is okay. 20% K rate is okay. He's just a very aggressive hitter. So you have to know this. He will probably have problems when he first gets to the majors at getting exposed somewhere in a swing because he is such an aggressive hitter. So also know that going in. But he does have Great American Ballpark on his side. And he also has much better power this year. 107.4, 90th, 113.7 max EV are definite upgrades versus last year. Last year, he was also way more of a line drive hitter. You see, he's kind of there again, only a 26% fly ball, 17% air pull is average. That's not like anything great. So angles are only okay, though contact is very good. 85% zone swing or zone contact, running 77% contact rates. He was like 80% last year. So he does have a good hit tool. I give him a 55-60 hit tool, 45-45 plate approach, 55-60 power. I increased his power. Before I had him as a 50-55 guy, but the new exit velocities that he has an increased power profile, even though his angles are not the best. So we're talking about a good contact, good power, good high-end power guy with mediocre angles, below average plate approach. And then the speed, I give him a 45 out of 50. He does have more speed, but he's only run 6 times this year. So 8% stolen base attempt rate is below average, 12% is average. So he's running at a below average clip, though he is fast enough to run and steal like 15 bags. I just don't necessarily see him doing that. But Hector Rodriguez, very nice player here. My comp from is Wilyer Abreu and Michael Harris mashed up as hitters. Hitters, not Wilyer Abreu, outfielder, defense. But as hitters, Wilyer Abreu and Michael Harris, the second mash. Hector Rodriguez, number 9 on the T10. Number 8, this is a dude I love, Eliezer Dismay. This is a guy that I saw a lot last year. And the tail end of last year, he was amazing. If you follow me, if you on and you follow when I go to my in-person looks, you'll know that I was posting a lot about him at the end of last year because he was my regular like Friday, Saturday night starter when I'm going to games, Fridays and Saturday nights. And he was blowing it up. So the end of the year last year, from August 1st on, his final 6 starts, he had 42 strikeouts and 6 walks in 29 innings. This guy has a really good fastball, sweeper, slider combination, and he's been working on this changeup a lot more this year. He's been using the changeup much more versus the slider sweeper combo. Which when I say slider sweeper, I'm talking about a gyro slider. But he has That's what I saw him throwing was fastball, slider, sweeper, and it was sick. But he's got a really good changeup, and then he's got a curve that's kind of like meh. But I give him a 60 out of 65 grade on his fastball. It's very high IV and high horizontal break. It's a ride run ball. So you're getting like 17 inches of vert, and you're also getting, I think, like 12 inches of horizontal on it, maybe. It's a lot of movement on that pitch, and it's coming from a 3/4 arm slot. It's a really nice pitch, his fastball. The changeup is a circle change, and it's 82 to 86 miles an hour. Oh, by the way, the fastball hits up to 98. Usually, like when I saw him, he was living around 94 to 96. I saw him hit 97 last year, but he has been able to get it up to 98. Changeup, 82 to 86. He put a 55 out of 65 on that changeup. The gyro slider, I give him a 50 out of 55. That gets up to 90 miles an hour. I've seen him hit 90 on that pitch, but it's a downer gyro slider. And then he's got his sweeper, which cuts across the zone. So changeup goes one way, sweeper goes the other, gyro slider going down, fastball going up. Got a lot of movement profile here. You got northeast, southwest. I really like that. This is why this is a really underrated pitching prospect that I've liked for a long time. See 110 stuff, 110 control, 111 FERA. He has gotten blown up a few starts this year. The curveball, I'm not a big fan of. It's just like a slower version of his gyro slider, I guess. It's at 76 to 80. So I guess it is kind of like a changeup against the gyro slider. So it's almost like you've got your fastball and your changeup, and then you've got your gyro slider, and then your curveball is your changeup on the gyro. Just off speed on the gyro. Kind of interesting to think about it that way. But command, 45 out of 55. So really good pitcher. I've got him as a top 250 guy. I've got him in a lot of leagues because like nobody knows who he is. Eliezer Dishmay with the Marlins. Marlins are really good at developing pitchers as well. So this is a dude I've liked for a long time, and you can see he's kind of volatile. He's had like really good starts and then really rough starts, like 8-2, 6-5, 5-3, 9-2, 5-2, 6-3, 9-1, 6-4, 9-1, 6-2. I'm talking about strikeouts and walks, by the way. And then here, like the last couple starts, 5 strikeouts, 6 walks, terrible. Only 20 pitches in this one. So I don't know if he was hurt at the end of June. 0 strikeouts, 3 walks, but he's back now. 8 strikeouts, 0 walks this last time out. And that's 6 1/3 shutout innings, only giving up 3 hits. So that's Eliezer Dishmay with the Marlins. Let me see if I can put some video up of him real quick, because I'm a big Dishmay guy. I know I have video of him on X somewhere. You might have to look up like Eliezer Dishmay fantasy ace ball or something for that to pop up. But I had a really good video of him from behind home that I posted on X last year in a few different starts. So here we go. You can see his arm angle in this one at least. Interesting arm angle there. Here's some more of him.
Swing and a miss. High fastball. 2-2. Swing.
So you see he's got this like 3/4 arm slot here that he's throwing from. There's that gyro slider right there. So actually that's the changeup right there. Let's see. Yeah, that's the changeup, I think. No, the curve. Okay, so here we go. There's another one. There's that fastball. Look at that vertical break on the fastball. So Dishmay, really good player to watch out for. I put a 55-60 on the sweeper. I don't think I mentioned that one. 40 on the curve. And comp is Taj Bradley, Brian Bayo mash. Like he has kind of got like the Brian Bayo build mechanics, but he doesn't have the same pitch arsenal. I mean, he's got the killer changeup, but he's not sinker first guy. Which is where I get the Taj like fastball cutter kind of thing. So that's where I got that comp from. Just thinking about both their pitches. All right, let's get to number 7. Number 7 is Dakota Jordan. Guess what, guys? Dakota Jordan made the list 2 times in a row. We talked about him last time. Insane power. I'm not going to go too much into him because, like I said, like in the interest of time, I'm trying to do stuff. Comped him to Tyler O'Neill match with righty Bobby Bonilla. And this dude had a 3 home run game. Let's put this up here. He's coming off a 3 home run game. And he had 6 extra base hits this week too. Man, that is just such Bobby Bonilla.
This one.
For that. That is a Bobby Bonilla stance. It's just from the right side instead of the left side. So we got here Dakota Jordan. You saw that homer. We're gonna watch 3 more. But he had 3 home runs this week, 6 extra base hits. He now has 41 extra base hits, 18 home runs, 15 steals in 81 games. So really good player here. His stats are actually pretty comparable to Hector Rodriguez. Dakota Jordan, though, is in high A. He's ready for double A, so keep that in mind. He's got more steals than Hector Rodriguez, but very comparable stats besides that. He's hit up to 118, 119 max EPs. Had last year 108.4, 90th. 60, 70 power, 60, 60 speed. Hit tool's pretty bad, though. He's running like 60s contact rates. So 25, 35 hit tool, 30, 40 plate approach for Dakota Jordan. But very interesting player. I'm a big fan. I like him as just like a dart throw in deep leagues. Like if you're in like a 12 teamer, I don't know, kind of risky to maybe hold him there. But if you're in like a 15, 20, 30 team dynasty league, then this is a good one to go after because there's so much upside with Dakota Jordan. So number 6 is going to be Blake Mitchell. Blake Mitchell's a guy that Doc and I have liked for a while. Now, this is kind of like another Dakota Jordan here where he has terrible, terrible contact tools, but there's a ton of power in Blake Mitchell's profile. He was a top 150 prospect for me at one point in time. And my comp from is a lefty, Shea Langeliers. I'm going to put his new hitter profile up if I can navigate this. Again, this is why it's great to have John producing, but I didn't even tell him I'm recording. This time it's not his fault. I'm just like, look, I got to go. I don't have time to line stuff up with people. So Blake Mitchell here, got a 25-40 hit tool is what I have on him. Plate approach 40-50, power 60-65, speed 40-40. F scores a 110 power, 107 speed, 90 hit tool, 108 discipline. And look at these contact rates. 58% is atrocious. But this guy has mad exit velocities. He's at a 116.5 max exit velocity in the Arizona Fall League last year, while running 93 average EV in Arizona Fall League last year. So he's got a lot of power there. Just really bad contact numbers. But this year, even with the really bad contact numbers and a 220 average, he still has 16 home runs, 28 extra base hits, and 18 stolen bases in 76 games. So my comp, lefty Shea Langeliers with speed, is Blake Mitchell with the Royals. The Royals have a lot of good catchers too. One of my other T10 that we're not going to talk about in this one is Ramon Ramirez with the Royals, who I like even better than Blake Mitchell, top 150 prospect for me. Number 5 is Ryan Burroughs. This guy is not the most interesting player, I must say, but he did have a really good week this week. And if you have a really good week, I'm going to talk about you. So Ryan Burroughs with the White Sox, high A, kind of profiles as a super utility player in my mind. Plays second, short, third. See, he's got a 35% stolen base attempt rate. If you're watching on the X machine, we've got his numbers up on the new hitter tableau. He has 7 home runs this year. That ties what he did in 2024 and 2025. He had 1 home run in 2026 and 2025, 7 this year. So there is more power. This guy is 6'1", and he's got some weight to him, so he should be able to grow into more power. He could be an interesting player if he grows into more power. My comp from right now is Jorge Mateo because he's got some speed. He had 47 steals last year or something like that. So he can run. And this week, he has 5 extra base hits, home runs, 3 steals. So if you have 3 home runs and 3 steals in a week, you're probably going to make the T10 while hitting over 500. So that's what he did. Hit tool, I give him a 35 out of 45. Plate approach, 50 out of 55. Power, 35 out of 45. And speed, 60-60. So, again, profiles right now more of a bench super utility role. But if he can actually grow into his body and get the power up to a 45 and get the hit up to a 45, then maybe he's a regular at some point, major league regular. Ryan Burroughs with the White Sox, just a underdog of the week, underrated name that we're going to talk about. You know what? This is the fun name that I really want to talk about. This is my real true underdog of the week. And this is a fun name too. It's not going to fit. Look at this. Myro Shendrick Martinez with the Dodgers organization. So this guy's been around for a little while, out of Curacao, and he's had an amazing season this year. So this year kind of came out of nowhere. He was in high A last year, demoted back down to A-ball this year. He's had really tough luck really bad contact skills in the past. But he changed his swing a little bit, added a leg kick into his stride of his swing. So he changed the way that his swing works, and he's more aggressive and focused on air pull this year. And it's really working out for him. So his zone contact rate is 82%, which is significantly better versus last year. His contact rates are 70s. So he's running 70, 71% on contact rate. Versus last year, he was at like 65 or lower. And zone contact was also significantly lower. So this is causing more damage. And he has max EVs around 110. Big frame, shortstop, 6'1", 170 pounds roughly. So he has room to add some weight onto the frame. But he's really killing it this year. 40 extra base hits already this year in 78 games. And this week, 4 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 4 steals. So this guy has a ton of home runs. He has 12 home runs on the year, 40 extra base hits, 27 steals in half of a season. So Miro Schendrick, Miro, Mairo, Schendrick, this is all one word, Schendrick, Martinez, Martinus. I know John is going to hate that name. So I gave him a 40-55 hit tool because he gets to really, really good angles. So even though the hit contact-wise will probably max out around like a 40-45, the angles that he gets to are quite phenomenal at this point in time. So he's got a 55 hit tool from me because of that reason. Plate approach 30-40. He just has a lot of swing and miss in his game. Power 40-60. I think he can get into way more power. I think he can be a high 20s home run power guy. And of course, it's the Dodgers. The Dodgers are going to max his kid out if he stays in the org. Speed 60-55. While he has 27 steals, only has been caught 4 times this year, 36% attempt rate. He's not the fastest dude. So I think that will downtick once he gets to higher levels. But my comp from is Willy Adames light. So Miro Schendrick Martinez. I'm a fan of him. Let me put his, let me show you what this kid looks like. Miro Schendrick Martinez, this name. Gotta love that name. John's gonna hate it, but I like it. I'm down with Miro Schendrick. I'm down with the MSM. All right. There we go.
The 6th. Most likely not the 6th. Martinez, a drive into left field and deep. Back there and gone.
He gone. Peace out. Look at that ball. He smashed that. I want to look at his swing a little more. See that? That's a Willy Adames swing right there, baby. That's some Willy Adames power too. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Give me that open face. Here we go, Miro Schendrick.
Martinez had a great.
Check this out. All right, pitcher. Boom. That's a Willy Adames swing, man. I like him. Anyway, that is Miro Schendrick Martinez with the Dodgers in low A currently. Number 3 is another Dodgers player. Dodgers just been lighting this thing up recently. I think I've had like 2 Dodgers a week on the last few weeks here. It is Zach Root with the Dodgers, drafted in the 2nd round out of Arkansas last year. My comp for Mr. Zach Root is Ryan Weathers. Let's see. While I have this up, let's put Zach Root up. Might as well while I have the good old X window open, right? So Zach Root, Ryan Weathers is the comp, and you'll see why. This guy has like a kind of a weird delivery, which I mentioned in my article, where he's got like a massive like back coil, and he's a lefty. If you don't know who he is, big dude for like a 6'2" pitcher. You see he's pretty filled out here.
The pitch. Cut.
Yeah, there we go. And we'll just watch this as we see a bunch of cutter strikeouts. His cutter, by the way, is almost like more like a slurve. It's like a slow cutter. It's kind of weird. It's more like I don't know why he labels it as a cutter, because it's more like a slider to me, or a slurve. He call it curveball. Oh, that's why it is the slurve. I was reading that wrong. So anyway, his pitches, he's got a fastball, which this is his big thing. In college, he was only throwing like 93, 94. He's gotten that fastball to 98 now. So you can see a high ride fastball. I know he throws it in this video because this is, I think, is from the last start. But Zach Root, there it is. Zach Root had 11 strikeouts, 2 walks, only gave up 1 hit in 6 shutout innings this last week. So sitting closer to 95, 96 now. He was a sinker guy in college. Now he's throwing primary forcing fastball. I give him a 45 out of 55 on that fastball. Changeup was his biggest pitch in college. But I actually think I like the cutter curve. I really like the cutter. I think I like the cutter curve combo better, though. But changeup, 83, 85 miles an hour, 50 out of 60 on that. The curve, I give him a 55 out of 60, 78 to 82 miles an hour. There it is. That curve is the one that's cutting across the zone like that. And then he's got the gyro slider, the cutter. I put a 55 out of 65 on that gyro slider. So the good thing about this video here is that you're actually getting the velocity readings if you're watching on X or YouTube, so you can see which pitch is which. So, okay, 82, that's the curve right there. If he's throwing mid to high 80s, that's your cutter. And then if you're seeing high 90s, that's his fastball. So there's a cutter right there. But there's Zach Root with the Dodgers, and you can see that curve is like more like a slurve, like I said, like a 1-7. So really interesting pitcher. Dodgers have turned him from a ground ball arm into a power arm. And Zach Root 111 stuff plus or F stuff plus F stuff, 111 F control and a 110 FERA. So looking really good for the Dodgers so far, Mr. Zach Root. Number 2 is Jackson Baumeister, blast from the past, right? So Jackson Baumeister coming back in the T10. It's been like 2 years since he's been here. So Jackson Baumeister making a comeback. And I'm going to put his F scores up here. So we're going to go over to the Tableau pages and open up a good old Jackson Baumeister. And Jackson Baumeister was a former top 100 prospect for me. When he first came over to the Rays in 2024 after the trade, and was that the Shane Baz trade? I'm trying to remember what trade that was. They made a lot of trades together, the Rays and the Orioles interdivision for whatever reason. But he's 24 years old now. You can see F stuff 100, F1, 105 F control, 102 FERA. And he's been much better of late. So over his last 5 starts, which we can do this since June 1st. Look, this is what's awesome about John's Tools. No, we want to cut that one out. Since June 1st, look at this. So sorry, last 6 starts, because he made another really good start yesterday. Look at this. Yesterday. So I put him on for this start. Yesterday, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. So over his last 2 starts now, 19 strikeouts and 3 walks for Jackson Baumeister. Significant uptick in command here. Look, the walk rate is down. So over his last 6 starts now, he has a 2.04 JAERA, a 27.1 K minus walk rate. The strike rate is 52% and the ball rate is 35%. That's where he was when he was on. The fastball, 97 miles an hour, 20 inches of IVB. He's got a hybrid cutter slider, which some people call the slutter. So the slutter, I don't really like that much. I only put a 40 out of 45 on it. And then the curveball, 45 out of 55, and the changeup, 40 out of 50. So he's a primary fastball guy. That's his best pitch. 40-50 command. Command's getting better. He used to throw, if I'm not mistaken, a cutter and a slider, and I think he merged them into the slider when he got to the Rays, but I might be wrong on that. Or maybe he only threw the slider and then turned it into the slider. But he's had trouble with command like the last year and a half. And you see he's kind of got it figured out now. These last 6 starts are all really good. He had one rough one here, 3-4. But the rest of these starts are all phenomenal for Jackson Baumeister. So he might be figuring it out with the Rays. I would circle that name because he's 24 years old. And we see what Ian Seymour is doing right now as a 27-year-old with the Rays. Comp from is Nick Pivetta. Jackson Baumeister might be breaking back out here with the Rays. Number 1, Hansel. I don't know. People are going to say Jansel. Hansel Luis. I have I live in South Florida for a long time. So mi español is muy bien. But Hansel Luis, AA middle infielder with the Diamondbacks. You can see here, there's the old profile is still available. Here's the new one. If you click on new hitter profiles, let's click on the new one. Hansel Luis. Boom. We're not going to get the zone in O-swing data because he is at AA and not AAA. However, he has 13 home runs on the season and 20 steals. So this last week, had 5 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 2 steals, hitting .429. And yeah, I know Myra Trendrick had a statistically better week or whatever, but Luis is closer and he's got more prospect pedigree. And look at the 148 age-adjusted WRC plus, 21 AA is young for the level. So Hansel Luis, maybe he's a super utility guy because the Diamondbacks just have so many dudes up the middle right now. But I think he could be a second baseman full-time. My comp is Tony Womack and Orlando Arcia mashed together into one guy. Hit tool, I give him a 40 out of 55. I think the hit tool can improve. I think he has a much better potential hit tool, which you see here. 107 hit score, F score is good. It's really good. But his contact rates are kind of subpar. And angles are going to play a big role in that. So, and how aggressive is he at the plate? 51% aggressiveness. And we're going to be pulling in past zone swing data that we have, if we have it. So that's going to make a difference in his hit tool. Plate skills now, he is probably a little bit too aggressive in the zone. He needs to chill that out, take some walks. 89 F score in the discipline, 35-40 plate approach grade from me. Power 40-50 and speed 60-60. So, as Chris Blessing once famously said on this podcast, if a second baseman has a 50 hit tool and then either a 50 power or a 50 speed, they're a dude. So this guy has the potential for a 50 hit tool. He has a potential for a 55 hit tool, and he's got 60 speed. And he also has potential for 50 power. So he's not there yet, but he could be a very important name to watch for future breakout here. Hansel Luis. And he's been very strong since like June 1st. So he's been having a really good month or so. So Hansel Luis with the Diamondbacks is T1 in this podcast. So T10, running back through it. Number 1, Hansel Luis with the Diamondbacks, AA. Number 2, Jackson Bomeister, starting pitcher with the Rays, AA. Number 3, Zach Root, high A, starting pitcher with the Dodgers. Number 4, Myra Shendrick Martinez, Dodgers, low A. Number 5, Ryan Burroughs, middle infielder, White Sox, high A. Number 6, catcher Blake Mitchell with the Royals, high A. Number 7, Dakota Jordan, outfielder with the Giants, high A. Number 8, Eliezer Dishmay, starting pitcher with the Marlins, AA. Number 9, Hector Rodriguez, AAA, outfielder with the Reds. And number 10 is starting pitcher Luis De Leon, Orioles, AA. Other players that we're going to talk about, if you read the article and subscribe, are Leo DeVries, Dalton Pence, Michael Arroyo, Quinn Matthews, and Ramon Ramirez, plus a list of honorable mentions. So make sure you subscribe. This is going to be the T10 for this week. I know I'm off by a day, but at least I got some of those stats in on the podcast. And make sure that you read the article, subscribe, MLB Data Warehouse. Make sure you mention Tim if you do, so John pays me. That's it. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you next time. I think that Doc and I for Doc's Dynasty Hour, we might have a special draft episode next week. So come and check that out. Peace out, everybody.
Big Data Warehouse. Yeah, we bring this breed. Prospects, DFS, betting strategy. John's grumpy, Tim scouting like a man possessed. Doc drafting comeback stories better than the rest. But the tools are elite and the content's free. And your fantasy trophy gonna look prestigious. ML.